The Leafs are talking to reporters ahead of Game 2 tonight against the Lightning. Here's head coach Sheldon Keefe. Let's listen in.
We know enough that you need a response here tonight, but you have an opportunity to do that. That's what the playoffs are about. You don't get many opportunities to respond, but you certainly have one here tonight.
This is another new experience for Matthew Knies. What's the message for him in his approach to dealing with what will be probably most pressure he's probably dealt with?
Yeah, I don't know about that. I mean, a guy coming in, I don't think there's any pressure on him. He's not expected to come out here and save the world. If you want to talk about pressure, he's a top guy playing for a national championship in front of 19,000 people there for something that he's grown there and been a part of, and he's the key guy. He's just coming in here to just do his part, and that's really it. Just go out and compete. And he had done well in the games he's played for us, but he's played in pressure situations before. This is not one of them. It's a different situation. It's a challenging situation, but I mean, he's got no pressure.
Cernak out, maybe Hedman is questionable here. How can you take advantage of a depleted decor on their side?
Well, regardless of who's in or out, the plan remains the same as what it's been going into the series. And that's just kind of the name of the game, is you want to put miles on the other team's defense and spend as much time as you can in the offensive zone and beyond the puck and all those kind of things. That's what we had talked about coming into the series, and I suspect they're talking about the same thing on the other side. That's the nature of the game. So certainly that would be the plan here once again.
Sheldon, what's your philosophy all your years of coaching of chasing matchups versus making sure you don't loosen your top guys in rhythm? I'm not saying that happened game one, but in general, like when you're cognizant of who you want out there at the same time, make sure your guys get their minutes.
Yeah, I think the approach changes as your team changes and who you've got in your lineup and things like that. I think our team's evolved a lot since, in my time here, as we've gone through it, we're far deeper. So I think that gives me the ability, especially on D-zone faceoffs and such. We've relied on Camp a lot in those situations, and he's done extremely well for us there. That line obviously was disappointing the other night because they had played so well, and you come to rely on them, and it doesn't work out the way that it had for us. So that's another thing that you have to adjust to, because you're relying on them, so you're putting them in that situation they've been in really all season long. So yeah, I mean, matchups are important, but the flow of the game really is really what it's about. You're trying to get your team into the rhythm that they're comfortable in and that they've been in all season long, most importantly. But I think our team now is deeper than it's ever been as we go through it here in terms of what we can expect, whether that's when you play John and O'Reilly on different lines and you got those extra depth at center. But even if it's a Chari or Camp, I mean, we've got extra guys there that have the ability to take on anybody. Yet it didn't happen the other night. So then all of a sudden your rhythm is thrown off in terms of how you played and how your team is built. So we just need everybody to play better, and then everything can fall into place.
Your penalty kill numbers got skewered, obviously, in the last game, but that sequence for you guys, blocked the 3 heavy shots, very encouraging for you?
You know what? Yeah, listen, the penalty kill numbers are a mess. You give up way too many, but there are some good things inside of that. We get a good kill early in the first period, their first kill of the game, and we get through that. So, you're sort of keeping your head above water in the game. At 3-1 in the second period, we get a penalty kill, and that gives us a chance to make it through 3-2, and looks like we have hope to come back in the game. Then obviously as the penalties pile up and the goals start to pile up too. So that's we take too many. B, you've got to get through the kills. We get through the first 2 minutes of the 5-minute major without issue. We kill the 5-on-3, without issue, and they score as we're coming out of the box. So look, the guys did good things inside of what was obviously not a good night. So we got to embrace the things that we did really well, reduce the amount of penalties we take, and eliminate mistakes.
How do you coach discipline? Because they've all said that, right? So you know it. You do video work, to repeat it. Like, how do you coach discipline?
Yeah, difficult thing. And the discipline, I mean, you can look at it many different ways, right? I mean, to me, there's discipline that's, after the whistle and you're engaging in things that you shouldn't. And to me, that's clearly undisciplined and you're getting distracted or lose focus. Things that happen over the course of play, sometimes there's retaliatory things. That's what, to me, is undisciplined. I look at some of the penalties that we took, in the first period. McCabe gets a high stick. To me, that's undisciplined in the sense that you're not controlling your stick. Brody loses body positioning and then gets a hole like that's like this. So there's all sorts of different ways to interpret it. To me, the bunting play is well intentioned in the sense that he's trying to engage to win the line. He's expecting a physical confrontation with a defender that's as physical as anybody in the league, and he doesn't meet it. He's probably a little bit early on the engagement, and that we know what the result is. So. It's such a fine line, but in terms of how you talk about it, you talk about the importance of it and just being responsible and having control of emotion. You need to be competitive and you need to be physical and you need to be engaged at all times. Yet you've got to really walk that line. Obviously, it's a critical part of success in the playoffs.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks.
All right, that's Leafs head coach Sheldon Keefe talking before Game 2 tonight about what he needs to see from his team to bounce back after an embarrassing loss in Game 1.